Hey, what's up guys? So in this next video I'm going to be talking to you about healthy eating and how you can use it to assist you in your weight loss or weight gain journey. So the first thing I want to cover is protein and just making sure that you're getting enough. So obviously, like we said in the last video, calories in versus calories out, whether you're in a deficit or a surplus decides whether you gain or lose the weight. Protein is a massive factor in it, and if you're not getting adequate protein, you're just going to find it really difficult to recover, whether that's from training or even things like if you're ill and things like that. If you're not getting adequate protein, it's going to make your journey just a little bit more difficult. So in the last video we touched briefly on macronutrients, so that was our proteins, fats, carbs, and we mentioned alcohol as well. So in this one we're going to really briefly look at micronutrients. So these are things like vitamins and minerals, and although they don't contribute towards calories, they are super essential for maintaining health and well-being, and these tend to be found in fruits and veg and things like that. So yes, even though you can lose weight just by eating cake, you're going to be really lacking in a lot of micronutrients, and you're probably going to compromise on health from there. Okay, so the next bit I want to talk about is satiety. So that's the feeling of being full. So I mentioned previously about protein. Now protein has a really high satiating feeling, so it's quite difficult to overeat on protein. So if you're looking to eat a deficit amount of calories and you kind of aim for a calorie target and a protein target first, if you hit that protein target and you get an adequate protein in, it's just going to be a little bit easier for you to kind of kick the feeling of being hungry and wanting to snack. Whereas if you were getting the majority of your calories through sweet things like sugary carbs or saturated fats and things like that, they don't really give you the feeling of being full in the same way that protein does, so it's quite easy to overeat on. So say for example, like cake and chocolate, it's quite easy to indulge in an awful lot of calories from those because you just don't get the feeling of being full. Whereas if you were going to eat a steak or a chicken breast or something, it's quite easy to feel full sooner for much less calories than it would be on something sweet. So if being in a calorie deficit is your target, kind of hit the calories, hit the protein. If you are wanting something to snack on, try and find something that's high in protein, and it'll just kick the feeling of being hungry and wanting to snack. Okay, so next point, just kind of relating back to the satiety, is high volume foods. So that's foods that are relatively high in volume but quite low in calories. So they tend to be vegetables, so things like broccoli or something like that. They take up quite a lot of space, so they've got a lot of volume, but they're relatively low in calories in comparison to other foods. So say for example, if you had I don't know, a piece of meat or some rice or pasta for the same amount of volume as a portion of broccoli, the broccoli is going to have an awful lot less calories than the other kind of food groups, but the volume is going to be the same. So you're still getting quite a lot of volume, you're going to take that in, it's going to give you the feeling of being full, but just loads less calories. So when you're making dinner or lunch or breakfast for that matter, just be aware that obviously if you include quite a lot of fruits and veg that have a lot of volume, it's going to help make you feel full. So if you're eating a deficit amount of calories, if you've got a lot of food volume for low calories, again, it's just going to make your journey quite a lot easier. Cool, so the last point I want to cover is mindset around eating. So that's the way that you think about food. So I want you to try and not demonize certain types of food. So if you want to have some sort of chocolate or sweets, that's totally fine, as long as you're aware of how that fits in with calories in the day, how that fits in with macros in the day, and whether you've eaten adequate fruit or veg. You don't have to stop eating after 6 p.m, you don't have to cut carbs after 7 p.m, you don't have to have breakfast in the morning. In that 24-hour period, if you've hit your calorie goal, if you've had adequate protein, if you've been energetic through the day, if you've been able to train to a good level, you've eaten a good amount of fruit and veg, then that's as much as you can do. So you don't have to follow certain rules, you don't have to have breakfast in the morning, you don't have to have this, you don't have to do that. As long as you can get your protein target, your calorie target, a good amount of fruit and veg, you've had good energy, you don't feel restricted, you don't feel like you're craving something, then there's nothing more you can do.